Introduction. Welcome to The Gravity Suit, Flight at Your Fingertips, a thrilling tale of innovation, ethical dilemmas, and the power of technology to transform society. This story explores what happens when one man's invention breaks the boundaries of human mobility, and the unforeseen consequences that follow. At its core, this book is about the delicate balance between progress and responsibility, and the choices we must make to shape a better future. I hope you enjoy this journey into a world where the dream of personal flight becomes a reality, and the moral questions that arise when technology pushes the limits of what we believe to be possible. Chapter 1: The Spark of Genius. In a dimly lit workshop cluttered with wires, tools, and half-finished inventions, Dr. Victor Kane stared at the prototype before him. It was unlike anything he'd ever built, a sleek, metallic suit equipped with intricate circuitry, propulsion systems, and a control belt that glowed faintly blue. Years of research and sleepless nights had led him to this moment. He called it the gravity suit. One more test, he murmured to himself, adjusting his glasses. He tightened the belt around his waist, took a deep breath, and pressed the activation button. Instantly, he felt the familiar tug of gravity loosen its grip. His feet lifted off the ground, and he hovered effortlessly in the air. The gravity suit worked. As he floated, a surge of pride filled him. This suit would revolutionize personal transportation. No more traffic jams or fossil fuel dependency. People could float to work, traverse rough terrains, and even assist in rescue missions. The possibilities were endless. But with great innovation comes unforeseen consequences. Chapter 2: The Launch. 6 months later, the gravity suit was ready for public unveiling. The media buzzed with anticipation. Rumors of a revolutionary mobility device had spread like wildfire, and the tech world was eager to see Kane's latest invention. At the press conference, Victor stood confidently before a crowd of journalists and curious onlookers. "Ladies and gentlemen, today I present to you the future of transportation, the gravity suit." He pressed the activation button on his belt and gracefully floated above the stage. Gasps and applause erupted from the audience. With this suit, anyone can travel short distances effortlessly, escape danger in emergencies, and access places previously unreachable. After the presentation, Victor was swarmed with questions from reporters. "Dr. Kane, how soon will the gravity suit be available to the public? What safety measures are in place? Do you plan to sell the technology to governments?" Victor fielded the questions with poise. He knew the world was watching, and he wanted his invention to be a force for good. But in the shadows, not everyone shared his noble intentions. Chapter 3: Shadows of Interest. A sleek black car idled outside the conference venue. Inside, a man in a dark suit watched the broadcast on a tablet, his eyes narrowing with interest. "Impressive," he murmured. He rewound the footage of Victor floating above the stage and studied every detail of the gravity suit. "Contact Dr. Kane. Make him an offer he can't refuse." The man was Elias Mercer, CEO of Aerotech Industries, a defense contractor with a reputation for acquiring groundbreaking technologies, by any means necessary. To Mercer, the gravity suit was not just a tool for personal mobility, it was a potential game-changer in modern warfare. Imagine soldiers flying over enemy lines, reaching inaccessible locations, and carrying out missions with unprecedented ease. Mercer tapped a message on his phone. "I want a full report on Kane by tomorrow, family, friends, and weaknesses. We need leverage." Meanwhile, Victor returned to his workshop, unaware of the storm brewing around him. His phone buzzed with messages from investors, government officials, and private corporations. Everyone wanted a piece of the gravity suit. But Victor wasn't interested in profit. He envisioned a future where his invention was used to benefit humanity. What he didn't realize was that not everyone shared his altruistic vision. Chapter 4: The Offer. A week later, Victor received an unexpected visitor at his workshop. Elias Mercer walked in, flanked by 2 assistants. "Dr. Kane, I'm Elias Mercer. May I have a word? Victor nodded warily. Mercer didn't waste time. I represent Aerotech Industries. We're very interested in your gravity suit. I'm prepared to offer you $500 million for exclusive rights to the technology. Victor's heart raced, $500 million. The offer was tempting, but he knew it came with strings attached. I created the gravity suit to help people, not for military use, Victor replied firmly. Mercer's smile didn't falter. Think of the good we could do. Imagine rescue missions in war zones. Humanitarian aid delivered to the most remote locations. Victor shook his head. And imagine the destruction it could cause in the wrong hands. Mercer leaned in. Everything has dual purposes, Dr. Kane. It's better to control the technology than let it fall into the hands of those who might misuse it. Victor stood his ground. I'm sorry, Mr. Mercer. The answer is no. Mercer's eyes darkened. You'll regret this decision. Chapter 5, The Heist. Weeks passed, and Victor focused on perfecting the gravity suit. But he couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched. Late one night, his fears were confirmed. His security system alerted him to a break-in at the workshop. Freeze! Victor shouted, brandishing a makeshift weapon. But the intruders were swift and well-trained. They moved like shadows, disabling cameras and sensors with practiced ease. Victor tried to intervene, but he was outmatched. The thieves seized the gravity suit prototypes and disappeared into the night. The next morning, news broke of Aerotech Industries unveiling a new military exosuit, eerily similar to the gravity suit. Mercer had stolen his invention, and worse, he was already marketing it to defense agencies worldwide. Victor was devastated. But he wasn't ready to give up. Chapter 6, The Resistance. Determined to reclaim his invention, Victor went underground. He connected with a group of ethical hackers and inventors who shared his vision of using technology for good. Together, they launched Project Gravity, a grassroots movement to develop an open-source version of the gravity suit. Their goal was to democratize personal flight and prevent corporations from monopolizing the technology. Project Gravity quickly gained traction. People from all over the world joined the cause, building and improving their own suits. Videos of civilians using the gravity suit for humanitarian efforts went viral, sparking a global conversation about ethical innovation. But Aerotech wasn't pleased. Mercer sent his agents to track down Victor and shut down Project Gravity. Chapter 7, The Showdown. In a dramatic confrontation at Aerotech's headquarters, Victor faced Mercer once more. You stole my invention, Victor said. Mercer smirked. And I made it better. You're out of your depth, Kane. But Victor had a plan. He activated a hidden command in the gravity suit's code, a failsafe that disabled all unauthorized suits. Mercer watched in horror as his soldiers' suits powered down mid-flight. You'll never win, Mercer growled. Victor smiled. This isn't about winning. It's about doing what's right. Epilogue, A New Dawn. Months later, the open-source gravity suit was a global phenomenon. People from all walks of life were building and improving the suits, using them for humanitarian efforts, disaster relief, and personal mobility. Victor Kane had achieved his dream. The gravity suit wasn't just an invention. It was a symbol of freedom, innovation, and ethical responsibility. As he watched a group of children hover joyfully in a park, Victor felt a deep sense of fulfillment. The world was lighter, not just in gravity, but in spirit.